Hey guys, welcome to our channel. My story today is about my labor and delivery. I wanted to film this a long time ago, but I'm not really sure what details to include, but I'll just jump right into it. So this was about April 1st. It was a Sunday. Actually, no, it started on this Saturday night, which was I guess the night before. Started when I took a shower and I washed my hair, and I felt like the baby wasn't moving anymore as it normally does. There's just very decreased movement. So I pretty much, played it off as if, these things happen because they do run out of room and then they can't move too much anymore. So I played it off, and Sunday came. I woke up. I felt normal in the morning, and then immediately I felt like a big thud in my stomach. Like I felt like the baby just flipped, and then a lot of pressure after that. So right then and there, it's like I had to lay on the couch. I couldn't do nothing. I pretty much could get up for water or food, whatever, or ask my husband to help me get those things. So then I felt like, okay, I have an appointment to see the doctor on Monday. I do have work as well. So I decided, okay, if I'm not going to feel too good, I can't go to work, but I will go to my appointment because it's important. The last appointment I had was the 20th week when I found out the sex of the baby, really. So I wanted to go to the appointment, but if I wasn't feeling too good, I wouldn't go to work. So I woke up the Monday morning and I felt good. I didn't think it was like any issues not to go to work, so I woke up and I went to work. I went on my lunch. I went to the bathroom fine, and then I had my appointment, which was coming up at 3 o'clock. So I left for my appointment about 2:30, and walking to the doctor's office, I kind of felt the pressure in my pelvic area like increase, like it was literally coming on so strong. So I got to the doctor's office and checked myself in, and he did check the baby's position. He checked my blood pressure, like the normal checkup stuff, and he said like you're good to go. And I said no, I don't think so, because I'm having a lot of pressure in my pelvic area. And he said, well, sometimes like because you're so close, it does happen. And I said no, this is so intense, I feel like I might be in labor. Like it was really hard to say I might be in labor, but I had to say it. So he says, well, tell me the story again, how you really feel. And he said, based on what you're describing to me, it sounds like you might be in labor, but the only way to tell is really for you to go to a hospital and get checked. And I said, well, can you not check my cervix here? He says, no, I don't want to check your cervix. Just go to the hospital and get checked. So at this point, I was at the doctor's office by myself. So I called my husband and I said, I'm driving myself to the hospital, and because this is what's happening. He was on his way home from work, and my first son was home with my mother-in-law. So my husband went straight home. I drove myself to the hospital, and I said to him, don't worry about coming here until I find out what's happening. So when I got to the hospital, I checked in. Actually, I met a nursing staff at the front desk, and I said to her, like, where do I go for this? And she said, okay, you know what, let me walk with you, because it looks like you're in a lot of pain. And literally it was, because I was walking and I could hardly walk. Just think about it, like I felt like it's like you feel like you want to pee, but you're so cramped, literally. So she walked with me to the registration desk, and she she put me in a chair pretty much because she saw a chair at the desk, and she says, you know what? She said to her colleague, she needs to register, or I guess just to get checked, but I'm gonna put her here, and when you're done, just take care of her. And she did. So when I got registered, I got moved to a room right away, an inspection room, I would say. So they got me hooked up to the monitors, and just to check the baby's, I guess mine and the baby's blood pressure, how the baby was doing. I guess there was also monitor for contractions. So I did tell her I am feeling some tingle, like it's contractions, and at this point they're probably about every 20 minutes or so. So they hooked me up to the monitor, and I said to her, you know what, I am feeling it. And she says, yes, I can see the rhythm, that it is contractions, and we're going to get your urine test, because sometimes UTIs actually causes pressure in, causes that much pressure. And I said, no, this does not feel like a UTI. It literally feels like I'm about to give birth. And she says, okay, well, we'll get the doctor to come check you. And so the doctor came with his, I guess he was training someone. So he said to the trainee, like, let me do it. So he checked, and he said my cervix was already 3 centimeters open. And I said, how is that possible? And he said, well, sometimes from, like, if you gave birth before, like with my first son, sometimes your cervix doesn't close all the way. So I guess from that, it was already open. So I guess now he says, okay, well, we'll wait for the urine test to come back, because if it's a UTI, then you're fine. But they don't know. So at this point, my husband went home and came to the hospital and sat with me. Now we're waiting, and then we're told we're moving to a room. So I said, why am I moving to a room if I'm not in labor? And they couldn't really answer me. So they moved me to the room, and this was probably about 7 p.m. When they moved me to the room, it, like the pain like intensified. Like now I'm feeling like contractions like every 15 minutes or so. So I kept complaining to the nurses, and I said, you know what, I'm in so much pain. Can I get something for the pain? And she said no. So at this point, they gave me morphine and Gravel, because they're trying to slow it down. Like they're trying to slow down the labor or whatever was happening. And they also had to give me a steroid shot for the baby's lungs, because it wasn't developed. So this could help fast track the development. So they did that. They gave me the steroid shot at that time, and I'm supposed to have 2. So this is the first one, and I'm supposed to have another one about 3 a.m. But still, like the pain was so much. Like I lay there, I kept complaining. I'm like crying to my husband, saying, I don't know, I can't do this. I really can't do this. Like, oh my God. It hurts so bad. I wanted to literally get up out of the bed and run, but you know, I couldn't go anywhere. So like the nurses kept coming in there, and she kept checking, and I kept asking her, like, am I gonna get something for the pain? And literally I felt like they were all ignoring me. So at this point, you know, it's getting close to about 10, and I'm still in so much pain. So I got upset. I literally got upset. I freaked out at her, and she went and got the doctor, and she says, doctor, I don't know, she can't do this any longer. She's in so much pain. Can you not just give her some medication? And he said, you know what, just give her the epidural. So I got my epidural about 10 p.m. And at that point, okay, I thought epidurals was supposed to like numb pains and shit, but oops. But the pain wasn't numb. I was still in so much pain. I could still feel the pressure. It kind of numbed the pain a little bit, but I could still feel so much pressure, which I thought, you know, okay, the epidural is not working. Why is it not working? Is it kicked in yet? Like, I kept asking those questions. But I guess it did. I don't know. And they kept saying, you should get some sleep. And I said, I can't sleep. I cannot sleep with so much pressure happening. And about 2 o'clock, I believe she says, okay, well, whatever, like, the baby's coming and there's nothing else we can do, but the baby's coming. So she gave me a heads up, like 2:30 we're going to start pushing. So at 2:30 we started pushing, and I guess I wasn't following instructions too well because the pain was so much. I wasn't thinking about anybody else but myself and the baby. But I kept getting so upset, and the nurse actually got upset at me and said, you need to listen to me, you need to follow my instructions, you need to do as I say. And I'm like crying, I'm bawling. I know what you're saying, I'm trying to do what you say, but at the same time I'm in so much pain, so it's kind of like the pain like took over everything pretty much. So anyways, I kind of try to bite my tongue, held my husband's hand so tight, and I tried to do it, and I did it. And 2:46 the baby came. He came and I got to hold him for a little bit, and my husband got to hold him for a little bit as well, and immediately they had to take him to the NICU because he was only 4 pounds. So 4 pounds, 21 centimeters, I believe. Or 45 centimeters. 45 centimeters. So yeah, he was so little, 4 pounds. He had to go to the NICU right away. And I stayed in the room and I got discharged the next day. But at this point, he won't be coming home. So he was in the NICU for about 4 to 6 weeks. He came home about just over a month later. And he came home really strong. I had to actually go to the hospital twice a day when he was in the NICU because they fed him with I had to deliver him breast milk in the morning, and when my husband came home from work, I had to drive back to the hospital and try and feed him like breast, so give him some booby. And when I'm not there, they would give him a bottle with the express milk that I leave there. So, yeah, it was a little bit rough, I can say. It was definitely a little bit rough. I remember sitting in my car and I cried for, just the cry that you didn't get to let out while, giving birth, or, even the day after. I remember I sat in my car and I let that cry out, and I felt so good. But that first month of him being in the NICU, it's something I'll always remember, because I've always heard of families going through that stuff, but I never thought I would go through that with my boy. But I did. Yeah. But it was, he's home and we're all happy now. So, it was just so, I couldn't believe it, because I was at work one day and I was training 2 people, and we were all joking around, when are you leaving for maternity leave? And I was joking as well, and I said, my due date was May 26th, and at this point, I was joking with them saying May 10th, that same afternoon, and I just didn't know I wasn't gonna show up for work the next day. So I went to work the Monday, never showed up the Tuesday because I had a baby boy. Thankfully, my best friend was working with me, so I got her to send an email to my work and say, she won't be coming back to work. The baby is here. Yeah, it was a little bit scary as well, because just thinking about it, 32 weeks. My first son was 38 weeks, so I never thought, People say the second one comes earlier, but I never thought earlier. Like, I don't know. It's not really down to science because they don't really come earlier. But I guess mine did. Mine was 8 weeks earlier. So yeah, that's my story, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And see you in the next one.